And I think we're back. I don't know how far back we went.
It
Um,
actually it was just within the last 20 seconds. So you're kind
all
of
right.
wrapping up your thing in the 20 seconds. And that's
Okay.
you know what that's this happened to us last week. It just like right in the middle. It's almost like Twitch kicks us off or something.
I've seen issues. In fact, I'll go into that maybe in a little bit. I've seen several issues with Twitch lately. Even like the streaming, it doesn't tell you the actual amount of people watching. Like
Right.
you were telling me there was at least two people watching, and
Mm.
it was telling me there was no one viewing, even though I was chatting
Yeah.
with you.
Hawk and I
Um,
was in there
I had
last
the
night.
and when I was doing the Tomb Raider, or oh, I can't keep the one on the Xbox One going. Looks like we're still streaming. Um,
Yep. We are.
but the when I was doing Plants vs Zombies, it actually when I went back to look at the games that I'd recorded, it actually showed um, that had it listed as Tomb Raider. So it didn't even have the accurate game. So they got some issues going on over there. So
Growing
Yep.
pains
growing pains,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, maybe
So
that's why. What that's when they and they actually said that. That's why I think Google coming in and purchasing them.
could be
You know, per,
good, but
yeah, because they said that they've grown so big, so fast that they are actually infrastructure is having trouble keeping up. I mean,
So
they've
Google,
admitted to it.
so Google would come in, throw like 5,000 programmers at it, revamp everything.
Yep.
all right, so let me get back. So I was talking about real names. So that's
Yep.
available. You can choose who you want to see. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can let everybody see it. You can let friends of friends see your real name. So that's available. The auto sign in is now available. So what's nice, that's a Xbox 360 feature that we're finally getting in the Xbox One. So
Yay.
I can say because then that's great for me because a lot of times I'll walk into my office and I just say, turn on, and I'm not standing in front of it. So it boots up and I can watch TV, but I'm not actually logged in. And I just prefer to be logged in all the time. So now it does that and it works. Also, they've updated the store page. So when well, of course, you can look at our our Twitch feed here. The dashboard there says pins, home, and store. And what you guys currently see now when you go to the store page is you'll see like four columns. You get your games, your movies and TV, your music, and your apps. That's gone away, sort of. They've just changed it. So there's like a featured page. And I don't know if it's in the video that you're watching. I don't know if he goes into that and shows it or not, but they highlight like so it's I don't know if it's going to be ads in the future. Right now it's advertisements, I guess you could say, for games. So like Zoo Tycoon takes up the big box, and then there's a on the left side, and then the top in the middle takes up it's just one across the kind of like the main one you see where the Titanfall image is at right now. We'll fill up another one, and it's like a different game. And then beneath that, there's like two smaller boxes advertising different games. And then on the right hand side now is you can go all the way to the right, and you can select which category you want. So you're gonna, which I think is fine, as long as it doesn't, put in the video ads like they did on the 360, which always slows down everything. And if it's just ads for games that are in the marketplace and stuff like that, or movies we can rent and stuff like that, or buy, or music and apps, I'm fine with that. It just lets me know, hey, here's what we're featuring. So they've made some changes to that, and I think I think it's an improvement. So that's what's in the June update, and so far everything is working, and I'm very happy. So June is going to be a great month for Xbox One with this external storage, man. It's something I know all of us have been wanting for a long time, and it is here. So, yay!
All
Woo!
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Microsoft. I
How
love
about
you.
it? Hey, I just did a quick lookup on speeds for hard drives, depending on how they're connected. Looks like internal SATA is 6 gig a second, and USB 3 is 5.
Hmm.
So the drive will be, or actually the external route will be a tiny bit slower, but realistically, you're not going to notice.
I just for the heck of it, I copied or I moved Tomb
Hmm.
Raider. So it was like 21 gig I moved over, and it took less than 5 minutes to move
Oh, that's
21 gig.
awesome. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really fast. I was so, and that's a big game. So 21 gig, less than 5 minutes. I mean, you're gonna obviously it's a lot of data. It's gonna take some time, but I was impressed that it was less than 5 minutes.
Oh
So
yeah, for that amount of data, that's awesome.
so not much, but it was right there at 5 minutes. So good stuff. It worked well. So
Okay, I'm
yeah,
up. I'm
that's
up.
it.
I think. Yeah. All right. So WWE 2K15 is going to be hitting the current gen consoles in October of 2014. It's coming to Xbox One, PS4, PS3, and 360 on October 28th in North America, and everywhere else it'll be out a couple days later on October 31st. And yeah, that's it. WWE coming for you and me later this year.
Yay.
All right. Anybody? Have you guys played Power Star Golf?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So Power Star Golf is now free to play. Well, I guess it's the Zo Mode and Microsoft Studios Xbox One golfing sim. Power Star Golf is free to play, with an upgrade option available for players who wish to purchase the full game, the full version. So obviously, the free to play version is not the full version.
It's like a demo, right?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of hoping this will go through it, but the original price of the game is $20. It's currently available as a free download that includes a single hole from every course featured in the full game. So
Okay.
there you go. You get a hole for every course. Players can test out game's stroke and match play modes and earn XP and credits that can later be transferred to the paid version. So basically a demo. Very good way to put it. So, but
Well, yeah, it is. It is a demo. I wish they would.
except some of the stuff actually transfers. I like the idea that if you do play it, and say there's 15 courses or 18 courses, and you get 18 holes of golf, if you can play it in a round, I mean, if it satisfies your golf need, I guess. But yeah, but it is only also it is only a $20 game too, so maybe there isn't that much there.
Well, I hate the fact that they removed the requirement of a demo for every game. I love that about the 360. Every game that came out required a demo, so you could try it out. And now it seems like that should be a no-brainer now that we're in the world of digital, because you can't, if you buy it digitally, you own it for good, at least currently. So we don't have the ability to, oh, this really stinks, let me go and sell it. Yeah, I might lose some money, but at least I can get $45 or $40 back from GameStop for my $60 game. At least I'm getting something instead of having this game that stinks on the shelf. So this is kind of nice. They took this and said, all right, let's try it. Because I've thought about this game many times, but I'm not a golf person. But I've played some mini golf games that are fun, and this one looks like it might be a fun game, but I'm like, I'm not paying $20 for a golf game.
Yeah, 'cause
Now
this
it's
one's
like,
not serious.
yeah,
It's
so I'm like, but it was like, I don't know. Now it's like, okay, now to me it's worth it to download it and try it. If I like it, then let me just pay the money and I get the whole game. So I wish they would do stuff like this more often. Just give me the demo, build a demo level if you have to, so I can at least try it, because I don't want to pay for it. That's like with Watch Dogs coming out this next week. I really, as big of a title as that is, I have not enjoyed GTA games. I've enjoyed games like Saints Row 3 and 4, Crackdown, Saboteur, which I'm not sure why, because that really wasn't over the top. But I don't, and I've tried GTA 4. I own GTA 4 and 5, and I don't know what it is about that game that I just can never seem to get through, never really seem to get into it. GTA 5 was a big turnoff for me. I think it was just too much, and not that I'm a prude or anything, but it was just too much in the hood talk, or it was so over the top adult that I think it turned me off. It's just like, come on, do you have to say that type of stuff every other word? Um, but so I don't know what to expect from Watch Dogs. I think Watch Dogs is going to follow more of the GTA model, and without a demo for me to try it to see if is it going to fall into the Saints Row 3 realm, or is it going to be like GTA 5? Because with Saints Row 3, I'm going to buy it. If it's GTA 4 or 5, then I'm going to skip it. But right now I have no choice but to skip it because I can't play it. And they're potentially losing money from someone like myself. And I mean, obviously, it's going to sell $1 billion, and they don't really care about me. But I know I'm not the only one out there that is going to skip it simply because they don't know. They're in this dilemma whether they'll like it or not, and they don't want to spend the $60 and be stuck with it. So, anyways, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's fine. And Vengeful Loki has a good point. He said that Twitch is his demo now, so he'll just go out find somebody playing it, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to have to do. But even that, I can
That's
watch
still
the
not playing it.
trailers. It's still not
That's
playing
still not
it. It's
playing it.
still, you don't know how the controls are. You don't know,
Mhm.
because it can look like, oh, yeah, this guy's awesome. Look, someone who's really good at it and, nailing people. I put the controller in my hand. It's like, whoa, man, I can't hit anything. I struggled with GTA controls, when it came down to like the gunfights and stuff. That was always a struggle. But other games, it's like, it's not an issue. Like Saints Row, for some reason the controls are a little tighter or a little better, or I don't know, fit my style of play. But yeah, you don't really get an idea. But that is all we really have, and I do plan to be. I'll probably be watching a lot of Twitch this week, just to see what happens and what people are doing with it. With that game, but it doesn't translate to, oh, this is something I'm going to enjoy, because you really don't know until you get your hands on it. So, but that's why I need someone who is, that's where you need to hook up with a really good trusted friend who you can make their console your home gold console, and they make yours, the one in your house, their home gold, and then they buy the game on your box. They bought it, but you both can play it, and then anything I buy, they can play. There was a discussion going. We've talked about this in the past. It was a discussion that was on our Facebook group. Someone asked me to bring it up again because they didn't think a lot of people knew about that. Game sharing does exist. Digital game sharing does exist on the Xbox One. It's not advertised, and I don't know. And I honestly don't know if it's breaking the EULA or not. I know many people are doing this, but I don't know, because they initially were going to allow you share up to with 10 people.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think we'll still get that. I think they're going to announce that hopefully at this E3,
because they can do it.
They've been slowly piecing in their thoughts that they wanted to originally do before they all got ripped out. They started to put those back in, and I really think that's coming.
Yeah.
I think that there's just something, if you can say, yeah, 10 people, like Steam does it now. They they have friends and family sharing. It's just you can't play the game while the other person's playing the game.
But see here, even with the Xbox way of doing it, you both can play the game. You can play the game together online.
Right. Yeah.
And only one of you paid for it.
Yeah. See that's I can probably say that's against something. But it doesn't sound right to me.
It's they haven't shut it down.
Right.
So I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if it's leftover from originally, or it's the way it is. I mean, nobody's talked about it. But anyways, if anybody wants to know how to do it, go to our Facebook group. There's a discussion on it. It's real simple. You just make sure you trust the person, because you're basically giving that you're gonna sign into their machine and register that console as your home gold, and they're gonna do the same on your machine. So, and but you still at home, you're gonna log in with your own profile, and anything either one of you buys is available to the other person. So
Jesus Walks a Lot said Microsoft asked me why I moved my account so many times recently. I said it's because I've bought so many Xbox Ones, and I like to share games with family. They said, great, thanks for using our features. I mean, it's something I don't think they can shut off. but
And I don't think it's in. You're
you can
not.
only do it once with one person.
And you're
So
not doing anything like you're not hacking the box.
right,
You're doing what it's designed to do. You're using it as it was set up. It's just I think it's one of those features that's there. The sharing is there. It changed. They had to change it. So for some reason they're not advertising that fact, and I'm not sure why. And I think that's the only reason it seems questionable. But it's there. So you can make use of it. I mean, I don't see that there's anything wrong with it because it's there. The capability is there. So, again, do what you want. I mean, but anyways, that's getting off
yeah,
track.
yeah. He said
So,
there's a
but if you
3
have
just
that, like if
for a
I was
warning.
home set up with someone who was getting the game, then I could actually play it and get the achievements, and I wouldn't even have to pay for it, but it would be in my library available to play, and that at least would give me a chance to see, okay, do I like it or not, and then I would, I might decide if I like it enough, I'll just purchase it anyways. Maybe not, I don't know, but at least I'd have a chance to play it. So,
He said for a warning, there's a 3-time limit per year on how many times you can set a home console.
well, that's not
So,
bad. I mean, if you got a friend that you trust, how many
yeah,
times are you going to change it?
yeah.
You know?
But I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping some of those features that they talked about, last E3 is what we get some of those this E3.
I just hope they're very careful. I hope whatever they
Yeah,
say they're going to do, they can do, and I hope they don't tick off the masses. They need to come out. I really have really high hopes this year for E3.
yeah,
I think everybody needs to stay off the stage except Phil.
right.
He's the only one that needs to be up there.
Yeah. I'm just glad that Matrick or whatever, he's not going to be on there. I can't. It just drove me nuts to watch him.
I know. I don't want.
So,
I don't want Natala, whatever his name is. He doesn't need to be there.
Satya,
Satya Natala, is that it?
Nadella.
Nadella. He doesn't need to be there.
nope.
Okay. Bill Spencer's the only one that needs to be on that stage.
Mhm.
Let him run the whole thing. He can announce and bring out the devs to show off their stuff, but
Mhm.
we don't need all these other Microsoft executives going out there. I've seen Phil Spencer do this before. He does a good job. The gamers, the community love him because
Mhm.
he is a gamer and he's passionate about it. Let him go out there. He's the
Yep.
owner of the whole division. Let him do his job. Let him sell this thing. Let him run that show and keep all the other yahoos off and don't bring any stupid comedians in. Let him run it. And just they've already gave a whole bunch of good stuff. I can't. I'm like excited for what's going to be there because they've given out some big stuff already that we
Mhm.
would expect at E3, and they're already announcing things like Halo 5 and stuff. It's like,
Mhm.
whoa, what do what do you got in the hopper if you're going to throw Halo 5 out early?
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be something good in there.
I think they're gonna with them announcing Halo 5. I know we're sidetracking, but with them announcing Halo 5 early, it's because they're gonna concentrate on this year, and maybe early spring of next year. They're gonna concentrate all on those games. I hope. But yeah, like I said, I hope he comes out and says, okay, all you guys can obviously share your games by handing it to your friend with the disc. We want to let you share games with your friends across the country with your digital, downloads. I think it'd be great. So, all right.
All right, so yeah, let's get back on track. Oh,
Yep,
and it's
you're up.
back. It's me. So,
Yep.
Titanfall news, real quick. Just the Xbox 360 version, a patch. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta look at this again. The Titanfall 360 patch arrives with match tweaks and crash fixes in tow. So
Mhm.
players will no longer be able to crash an entire server with a well-timed satchel charge in the 360 version of Titanfall, thanks to a newly issued update courtesy of the developer Respawn. Prior to this patch, if a player were to place a satchel charge on a departing enemy dropship, they could crash the entire server and disconnect all players by detonating the device after the ship had warped away. And I've seen that actually. I saw there was a YouTube video. I think I shared it out with everybody. It was like truth or true or false for Titanfall or something like that. They would 10 myths or something like Mythbusters for Titanfall essentially, and they proved that one to be true. They reproduced it. But anyway, that's been corrected. Though the highlight of the patch, numerous other changes are listed in the patch notes. For instance, private matches will now require only 2 players to be locked and loaded prior to launch, instead of 6 required previously. Further, player experience points tallies have been adjusted to display properly after rolling past Gen 10, and team colors will now appear more clearly in the game's minimap. So you can go to the Titanfall website for a full rundown of the patch notes for the Xbox 360 version. So that is it.
All right. So we talked about it briefly earlier at the beginning of the show, and it is time once again to talk about The Wolf Among Us. Episode 4 is coming out this week. It's coming out May 27th for PS3, Windows, PC, and Mac, and then 360. I guess, as usual, comes out a day later, and then iOS the following day. So for 360, we're looking at May 28th, and this is the 4th episode of The Wolf Among Us. It's called In Sheep's Clothing, and I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen with this one, since Big B was left in quite a predicament at the end of episode 3. So it's yours for $5 if you don't have a season pass, or if you have a season pass, you already paid for it, so it is essentially free. Look for it this week.
We've got a nice little trailer too running. Yeah.
That trailer has spoilers.
So.
Yep. It warned at the beginning.
Yep.
So avert your eyes, but it's if you haven't played episode 3 yet and you're into it, but it's probably already too late.
And if you don't know, yes, that was a talking pig. There's no way to explain this game to people that have never played it.
Yeah. Except it's not a kitty story, even though it's got all those
Oh, it is not.
kitty characters.
So. All right. So what's our last story, Brun?
All right. So this one is interesting because I kind of got into a heated debate on IGN about this, and it's funny because I'll read. Let me do something real quick before I get started, because it's interesting that the story that you added into
I feel the rant coming on.
Oh no, it's not, and it's actually something we talked about last week. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it in time. Oh, yep, found it. Okay, so the story that comes from Joystick is very interesting because it says GameStop sees increase in Xbox One interest following the price drop reveal. So, obviously a new SKU was added to the Xbox One lineup, and that was the one without the Kinect. And that would be considered, dropping the price on, your product. I guess if you want to say that, because I think the word price dropped is a little better term for this. But, the story here is that GameStop is obviously seeing an increase in traffic and interest in the console. So I imagine their pre-orders are coming in and everything like that. So that's good. So it looks like, removing the Kinect and offering the players and the gamers a choice to choose one with Kinect for $4.99 or one without Kinect for $3.99 was a pretty good plan. I think they're listening to.
Choice sucks. How dare they give us a choice?
Yeah. So, and this all goes into last week's episode or whatever. Now I want to read the article on IGN. Their title.
Sponsored by Sony.
GameStop seeing stronger demand for Xbox One following price cut. So I go in there and I'm reading all these people, the comments and stuff, and they're just like, they're done for. If they didn't cut the price of the Xbox One, they're not going to sell anymore and stuff like that. And I was like, for one, it's not a price cut. I was like, this is not a price cut. Go look up what a price cut is. A price cut is offering a product, taking that product, the same offering, slashing the price on it, and then giving it to you for a cheaper price. I was like, this is not a price cut. This is adding a SKU. It's giving people a choice. It's dropping. You could consider it a price drop because price drops
It's
happen
it's
all
not
the
even
time.
it's not even a price drop. You're
Yeah,
right. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. It is not a price drop. It is a brand new SKU
yeah,
Right.
without some hardware in it.
yeah.
Just like Sony did within a year of their launch of the PlayStation 3. They
I'm not
took
getting mad.
stuff out. They took stuff out and lowered the price.
And the one thing, the one that really like, I even actually messaged the guys like, maybe I'm just reading too much into your story because this guy's a freelancer. I actually tweeted him. I was like, hey, I'm just curious on your wording. Why did you choose the word price cut when it's not? And I said maybe I'm just reading too counter argument to it was that it is a price cut because you can go buy an Xbox One for $399 and a Kinect separately, and it is cheaper than $499.
No, it's not. They don't know that
Exactly my
because
point.
you cannot buy a Connect standalone yet, and we do not know the price. They said it'll be out in the fall, so it's not even
Exactly.
available.
That
It's
was my point. I said I didn't know they released the price of the Kinect. Can you please tell me how much it is so I know
cite your
that
source.
buying these two things would be cheaper than $499. I was
Their
like,
fact checking sucks.
I and you typically, and a lot of people, they said, and I've even kind of joked about it. It's like, hey, I hope they come out and say that the Kinect standalone's $150, because when you bundle things together, it's typically cheaper. A bundle is cheaper than two things separately, or at least it's the same exact price, I guess. Simpler on packaging and shipping, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But it's just I'm reading this, and he's like, no, it is a price cut, and I'm just like, it's not a price cut. I was like, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to tell everybody that it's not. No matter how much you say it is, it's not going to be. I said until I can get the Xbox One with the Kinect bundled in a package for $399, that's a price cut. And because I even tried to use, like, I can get it with a game for $449, and a person comes back and said that's not even a price cut, that's a price drop. I was like, well, that's a good point, because they dropped the price for a little bit and then it goes back up, and it drops and it goes back up, and a price cut stays where it's at and it does not go back up. Or if you're Sony, you release that at a price, and then in a country you raise the price $50. um,
Yeah.
but I
Price.
mean,
That's called a price up.
yeah. So the price so on. um, but yeah, it's just, I was read the story. I was like, oh, this one says price drop,
Yeah, it's not a price.
which
It's not a price drop either. It really
yeah,
isn't. You
it's the wording, and I keep going around, and I ask people, and even somebody on IGN even said, it's like, hey, those that word is misleading because it's not a price cut, and I'm just like, thank you, somebody on the media side actually said what everybody's thinking, because it's not a price drop or it's not a price cut. So,
right.
but
It's a
yeah,
new SKU.
so yeah,
So
new SKU.
very
But
good.
the good news is the
SKU
choice
costs
to,
less.
yeah, the new SKU or the new option, let's say, is increase the interest in the console. So
Yeah, and I mean, I know we stated this last week, but if anybody's news listening, I've got to connect. I still would recommend buying it. I use voice commands so much. I just it's weird. This is gonna sound stupid and maybe show how lazy I am, but like the other day, I don't know how many times I've thought this. It's like I've gotten so used to talking to my TV that I've done it downstairs. Like called up my Xbox, like, oh wait, it's not down here, and like I've got this fan in my office, and the other day I was sitting there and I wanted to turn it off, and I looked at it, and I was like wanted to talk to it to say, fan,
fan
turn
off.
off, yeah, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that, and I'm like, man, that would be great if I could just tell it to turn off.
Yeah.
It really, once you make use of it and once you start to use it, it really has become a feature that I really like, and I wish other devices had it. My Surface tablet has it built in. That thing boots up, and it automatically will have the voice, so I can talk and launch applications on my Surface device just by talking to it. It's essentially Connect built in. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so awesome. I tried it out one night. I was just sitting there, and giving it commands, and my Surface was responding to voice. I'm like, this is cool. This
Yeah.
this stuff is going to come down the road. I fully believe Microsoft was way ahead of the time. They jumped the gun just like the PlayStation 3 did. They tried to be, everything to everybody, and they came out with this real expensive technology, and they priced it way out of the market. And everybody's like, I don't want that. Microsoft had an amazing vision. It was very forward looking. That's what I loved about it. To me, their vision that they gave last year was very much next gen, where the PS4 was, it's the same thing that you have now, only it's going to look prettier. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that was actually when I was talking to I was reading some other people, and some other people were commenting and like, "Hey, man, I'm just a gamer." He's like, "I have both consoles. I'm glad I got the one with Kinect." And somebody's like, I probably would have, I have both consoles. I kind of wish I would have waited now because I really don't want the Kinect and I really don't use it. And the other guy started talking about like some of the features he uses. He's like, "Oh, I've never thought about that." It's just like, well, there you go. And I mean, if you don't like, you don't like it. That's kind of a bummer. But it led this one guy and I had a nice conversation because we were just talking, and he's like, "I actually preferred the vision that Microsoft had in last E3," and I was like, "Me too." I was like, that's some of their stuff." I said, and he said that it's unfortunate that Sony played it so safe. He's like, they played it safe, which caused Microsoft, and that's what kind of the gamers latched on to that safeness.
Right.
Still having the discs and not doing that online checking and stuff like that and going on. And I was like, you know what, that's true. I said it forced Microsoft to ditch all future thinking in this generation and play it safe as well, because that's obviously
Yeah.
what showed what the gamers wanted. And I said, and I think gaming this generation, as far as the console and everything, has taken 3 steps back, and we're not going to get to where we should be because of us having to come back and think. And I was like, the 24-hour check thing that was on there that everybody like kind of hooked onto and was for some reason on the internet complaining about, which also cracks me up.
Yeah.
Microsoft, and I even said it on this show, Microsoft, instead of ripping that out, they made the biggest mistake. That was not a valid solution for what they were doing. They should have kept a 24-hour check-in, and if you couldn't check in for 24 hours and you wanted to play the game, what do? Stick the disc in.
Yeah.
Or if you have it digital, if you purchase digitally, who cares? You don't need to do a check. It's a digital purchase. So, but that's just me.
I watched and I don't listen to, was it what's that other IGN podcast Podcast Beyond?
I listen to Beyond and
I
GameScoop.
I think it was Beyond. There
Mhm.
was like a video clip on IGN the other day, and I actually watched it. And I'm pretty sure it was from Podcast Beyond, and they were talking about that the 360, or I'm sorry, the Xbox One is now nothing more than a PlayStation 4,
Yes.
and it
That was
intrigued
What?
me.
GameScoop. It was GameScoop, I think,
Okay,
because their first 30 minutes. Because what it was this week was like the anniversary of them announcing the Xbox and spending the whole time talking about TV and how big of a downfall it was and how big of a mistake it was. And
yeah, I didn't
because
I didn't watch all that.
commented.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
actually
watch all that
commented.
because I knew it was just going to be. I mean, when I see the title of the sub a year later of the Xbox One, I'm like,
Yep.
where's the year later for PlayStation 4? They
Yeah.
didn't do one.
No.
Why? Because they're not gonna bash anything. All I
Yep.
knew when I saw it. But the one that caught my eye was the Xbox One is now a PlayStation 4, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense because they say this thing
No.
sucks. So, they've been bashing it, so now it's it's equal to their device that they love so much. So I watched it, and it was interesting because they were talking about now it's essentially, and some of them even said that it's nothing more than a PS4, and they actually for a short amount of time were saying that they were almost sounded like they were kind of disappointed because the Xbox One did offer more features and
Yep.
more, it was more future looking, and there was things there that it offered that now you take the Kinect away and it doesn't. Okay, so at first I was like, well, that's odd because I really didn't expect that type. But then they flipped it around and basically kind of negated everything they said because they went into this whole thing about, well, Kinect sucks and it doesn't work, and I spend all my time yelling at my TV, and I'm like, man, I use the voice every day. Anytime I say record that, it works probably 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Okay.
times where it doesn't work.
The only time I have an issue is when my fan is on or if the TV is too loud.
Mhm.
Okay, you got to have it at a regular tone. I mean, there's things, it has to be able to pick up your voice and distinguish it. Also, the one guy was like, "Well, I tried it on day one and it didn't work." And
Yeah, so I unplugged it.
so
Or no,
I
so it's
unplugged it, and
pointing-
then they
It's
said,
pointing somewhere else and blah blah blah.
yeah, and he goes, then they said, "Oh, well, we updated it, so try it again." And he goes, "I did it, and it didn't work at all." So, and he's like, "I'm not going to do it again." And I'm like,
Yeah.
it was a day one
baby.
console, okay? This thing has, just like the 360, has continued to develop and improve. The Xbox One has improved. There's very much different. What I'm sitting on right now, this OS version, compared to 6 months ago, is very different. Okay? There was a lot of things I didn't like 6 months ago when this thing came out. I'm actually excited now that I got external storage.
Yeah.
This almost completes it. I'm at this point, I'm kind of like, I think I've got everything essentially that I wanted that wasn't here to begin with. I'm not sure if my wish list of, when we went back, I should go back and listen to one of our old shows, and because we were complaining about some things. It's all fixed. Things work.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
it's
you
like
know what?
there
I
is
do
a
have,
there
I
is
have
a
a complaint about the Kinect myself, actually.
Well, hold on. Let me wrap up
hang
my
on.
thought here. Am I going to
No,
wrap
I'm
up my
sorry.
thought on what he was saying?
Okay.
Because he went on to this whole thing, like it stinks, it stinks, it stinks. I don't want to give it a shot, but maybe he needs to turn off the loud volume in the room. Maybe he needs to run the Kinect calibration again and run through the speech thing. Maybe there was noise in the background when he was doing it. So, that's like, it's like they just throw their hands up and say, "Oh, it sucks," and I don't even care what they've added or what they've done. It just sucks anyways. And I'm like, "Yep, that's what I expected out of IGN." So, okay, I'm sorry,
and-
Rob. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead,
No, I
Rob.
was going to say,
Then I'll comment.
I do have a complaint myself about the
Yeah, we don't
Kinect
want to
and
hear it. No, I'm cutting you
about
off.
it not working very well, and that's because when I was on the train the other day, it didn't work.
Oh. Yeah,
Can you believe that?
that'll happen.
And when I was at my office, it didn't work either. In fact, when I was on my business trip, it didn't work either. I kept saying Xbox on, and it didn't turn on. What a hunk of junk.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is I forget who was saying that. I don't know if it wasn't Craig Harris because I think he left there. I can't remember who it was that was going over it. But it was like he said, "Oh, I tried it on day one, it didn't work. I unplugged it, and hopefully when the OS comes out, then I don't have to say read the your Kinect is unplugged message or something like that." I don't know what he's talking about because I don't have an Xbox One. But I'm sitting there thinking, and then I put it in the closet. No, I'm not going to try again. I'm not going to try again. And I'm like, you get paid to do this.
Right.
You're a professional. Why would you not want it to work? Why would
Right.
you not give it another chance? Why would you not test it out? And why do you sound like a child right now?
That's what
Nice.
annoys me the most about IGN and some of these, like it's like the mass media out there. It's like our news here in the United States.
Oh,
You've got like 15 news channels that all have one point of view, and then you've got one or two that have the other point of view.
mhm.
Nobody's doing their job and giving you both sides of the story.
Yeah.
And it irritates me that these gaming journalists are so close-minded. It's like, oh, it's like the Ford Chevy argument. You can't like Ford and like Chevy. It's impossible. I've never
Yep.
met anybody that likes both brands. Okay,
Right.
you have to hate the other one. It's the rule, and it's just like that seems to be the way it is here. I've got a Wii, I've got a PlayStation 3, and I've got Xbox in my house. You know,
Mhm.
my kids will play whatever. I mean, my PlayStation is essentially streams Amazon whenever I want to watch it downstairs. That's all I use it. But I played Uncharted on there, and I wish Uncharted came to Xbox. It's a fantastic. Why can't we just like what they are? So
Right.
that's my one wish for E3.
Well, they're
Microsoft, don't bash Sony. Don't stoop to what they did last year.
yeah.
You come out and you say Xbox One is the best, and here's why. Here's what you're going to be playing in the next year or two, and just leave it at that. You
Yeah.
know?
And it's funny is because more into that podcast, I think when they did make that comment that the Xbox One is now just a PlayStation 4, and they actually made the Xbox do all that stuff they were doing, saying was the one thing I think I forget if they said it or not. I think somebody said it. It's like, well, except for the PS4 has a lot better hard or is more powerful. That's what they said. They said, well, don't say that because the PlayStation's more powerful. And I'm sitting there, they're saying more powerful because it is it because it has DDR5 RAM in it than DDR3? Because yeah, five's better than three, and it's in the PC world, it's actually a lot better than three. But it's just like I just don't get it. And now it's down to what is the argument between the two? Now you're back to the 60 frames a second, 1080 versus 900 or 720, DDR3 versus DDR5, and you're sitting there talking about all these things that makes the hardware sound like it's better, but yet you turn on the game and they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So does that mean that Xbox One developers, or is it that, the Xbox One is so well crafted that it doesn't need all that power to do the same than the other one, or what? So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just it's funny what they're picking on now. First it was the price. The price was the thing. And now that the prices are down and people are getting what they want, now they have to find something else to compare them about. And they're talking about stuff that the human eye can't even tell.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But
Yep.
Well,
all the peas,
we
bro,
need to move
all the
on.
peas.
we went. I think we all kind of ranted a bit.
Oh yeah, well it's just it's aggravating. And the thing is, like, you don't like IGN, and IGN is my preferred site. And I listen to GameScoop and I listen to Podcast Beyond. Now, GameScoop is everything, and Podcast Beyond is their PlayStation podcast. I don't listen to the Xbox podcast on there because I just can't stand they just mumble on too much. I don't know. They mumble like I
Yeah.
guess I'm doing right now.
Well, what kills me about I do listen to podcasts Unlocked, but it annoys me. They do the same thing there.
Yeah.
I think Ryan McCaffrey's the only one who's really drank all the IGN Kool-Aid. I think it's from
Yeah.
so many years at OXM, but it's like I kind of feel like, yeah, pretty soon he's going to be gone. He's the only reason I actually listen to that show. Yeah, it's just I don't listen to it religiously because it's annoying. I tend to get frustrated when I listen to it.
Yeah.
But so, but anyways,
Yep. Yep.
moving on. We do have a Facebook group, and if you want to meet some amazing people, you want to add some great friends to your gamer tag, join our Facebook group. We have an actual, and just as a reminder, a lot of people may not realize it, we do have a group, a spreadsheet. It's at the very top of our group. There's a file section. You can go in there and you can add your name to the list if you want to put your name in there with your gamer tag. That way, because since we can't, there's no gamer tags on Facebook unless you make it your middle name. Some people have done that. it just gives an easier way if to try to get to know who's who. So if you see someone you're like and you're talking with, or you see you have the same ideas or stuff along with conversations, you can go and find out what their gamer tag is and add people that way too. But we got a great community out there, so don't miss it. So be sure to join our Facebook group. Also, we do have Twitter, so please follow us on Twitter. We do make announcements for our shows and whatnot. And if you, whoops, what did I do? If you want to leave us a voicemail, go to thisxboxlife.com, click on the microphone on the right-hand side, and leave us a voicemail, and we will put that in the show. And as always, please continue to support us. So a side note here, supporting us at Amazon, and I haven't talked to Robin Braun, but I'm going to throw this at them and for thought. But I think something came to light in our group, or a message that came my way. Actually, it's one I'm going to read here in a few minutes. Made me really think about our giveaways. So we talked about giving away an Xbox One.
Right.
And, I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of money to go to one person.
Right.
So,
Yep.
and I'm like, maybe, and what if that goes to someone who already has one? What if it goes to someone who's not even supporting us at Amazon? So kind of made me kind of think of a lot of things. So I'm like, let me put a poll out there. And overwhelmingly, the poll was people would rather have $60 gift cards. That was the number one poll. The Getting the Console had a few selections, but it was far behind those that said just give us a gift card, because people felt they wanted more people to be able to benefit from the giveaways. And so based on the community feedback, I think that's the route we're probably going to go, is just give away some $60 gift cards so that people can purchase a game. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that, because it'll be digital games, because we're going to give you an Xbox code. But the other thing of that, and I think Robin Braun and I will figure it out, is again, we'll have to figure out, and I think I'll put the poll out there and let the community decide this, because you guys are so responsive with that. But what I'm going to throw out to the community is, do you want this to be open to the giveaways? The giveaways are because of people making their purchases through our Amazon affiliate page. That's how we're getting that money to be able to give back to you. So all the money we've gotten from that has gone to you guys. We had enough to pay our dues this year for server hosting. Rob and I paid that out of pocket anyways, because we decided we wanted the money that came in, we wanted to give it back to you guys. We haven't pocketed anything yet. So it's going to you guys, and that's what we want to do. So do you guys as a community, would you prefer that the money or the contests, these giveaways, go to those that are supporting us, or should we leave it open to anybody, whether so that they don't have to purchase from Amazon or not, and they can still be eligible? That's the question I have next for our community. I kind of personally feel one way about it, and I'm sure Robin Braun will have a kind of opinion, and we'll talk later about it. But I'm going to throw that out, and I'll go put a poll out in our Facebook group here in just a minute and let you guys decide that. So I'll throw that up, and if you hear this later in the week, please go out to the Facebook group and vote in that poll. Let us know what you think. We just want to be fair to everybody, and we want to do what the majority of the community wants. So we'll do that. With that, let's move on to if you guys want to take these, then we'll jump through some of our emails here.
Did you see what Jesus says? He says, Mark says that as his wife pulls into the driveway with their new Bugatti.
Dude, what is he watching me? How did he find out where I live?
That's funny.
It's not a Bugatti. That's a Lambo, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, nice.
So
You're slumming then.
So in all actuality, we did spend some of the money. We did some of the money we got. We've purchased one thing for the show out of the money we have got. That is to be able to do the live streaming. We actually purchased the application because we were using a free version. And we were having problems, so we decided to. So yeah, we did purchase XSplit license which we'll have to renew in a few years. But everything else has gone back to you. We do have some stuff waiting to go out. We were building up for the Xbox One, but looks like we're going to be going with some gift cards for you guys. So we're probably going to have a giveaway here shortly. So please go and let us know how you want us to handle it, and we'll get back with you in the next week or two on how those contests are, what's coming up, and how we're going to do it. So, all right, guys, why don't you guys take the emails?
Right on. Here, I'll take the first one. So
Okay.
this one is from RPG Fan 1985. He writes in, "Hey guys, at this Xbox Life, I wanted to take your time and say how much I love your podcast. I've just listened to your latest podcast as a first-time listener, and I've got to say that it's one of the best. There isn't really a lot of pro Xbox news outlets or podcasts. Everybody's on the Sony bandwagon, and I'm happy to see my favorite console is being supported by the fine folks like yourselves. I will be listening to you guys as for a long time, as long as you guys are on the air. I don't know if you read your emails on the podcast. I guess now
Nope.
you do, but you're more than welcome to read mine. Thank you so much. Can't wait for next week."
Yep.
Okay.
Next gamer tag is Sticky Bean. Says, "Okay, I ordered something from Amazon through that link, so I saw you guys needed to know for some kind of drawing. So it was a corded drill. Not sure if you needed to know more than that, but if so, let him know." I don't think we need to know when they do purchase anything, do we?
No.
I was surprised at that. I don't know if he was listening to an older show,
Mm-hmm.
because I know Achievement Hounds does it that way. That's how they do their giveaways. You actually have to support them through the Amazon link to be able to be eligible to win.
Okay.
So what they do, and that's what I think what we would do is if the community decides, and I'm doing the poll right now, so it'll be up in a few minutes. If the community decides that they feel that people need to support us through the Amazon link to be eligible to win, then when you purchase something, you're just gonna send us an email and say, give us your gamer tag and the item you purchased and probably the date you purchased it, and that's it. And then I will catalog those, or I'll track them in an Excel sheet. That way, we'll know that you are eligible to do that. That's probably the best way to do that. So right now, no, we don't, and we don't actually have a giveaway at the moment. We're gonna have something here pretty quick, so he will be on that list. I'm gonna keep his info, and he'll already be eligible if we end up doing that. So of course I'll verify that we did see a drill purchase, but so, but yeah, we can't see like your names or anything. The only thing we see is we get a report of an item that was sold. So I don't even need the date. I just need to know once you place your order, just send us an email and say gamer tag and the item that you bought, or items, or you can, if you want to list multiple items, but that's all we need, and we'll be able to see that yep, that was on the list. I see it, and so we'll make you automatically eligible.
And somebody in our chat actually requested to be added to our group, because we do have a private group, so you do have to request.
Okay, we ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay, next one is from Roberto, UK73. Writes, "Hi all, I was really happy to see the recent Microsoft statement regarding the games for gold in response to customer feedback. Market share competition is good for everyone, irrespective of gaming platform choice, as it keeps prices competitive. I foresee the digital price for games dropping noticeably over the next year in comparison to disc copies as a direct result of market competition. Does this panel think that this price trend will happen? Thanks for a great show, Roberto." What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
I'm trying to. Well, Microsoft has actually, came out and said that they are looking in making digital copies cheaper. I I haven't heard much from that. I'm not exactly sure if it was like for sales or if they were just trying like day one purchases it being cheaper. Um, I would see this generation and digital games and stuff hopefully coming down the path of what Steam does. So hopefully you do see like prices drop because keeping a game at 50, at $60 or $40 when Steam has it for $4.99. I mean, it's just ridiculous to have to do. I mean, so I see that happening. As far as day one digital or day one digital versus day one disc, I, I would like to see it, be 60, 45 or 60/40. 60/50 would actually be nice. A $10 difference would be kind of actually really nice to at least see that much, but I could see it happening. So
Yeah, it definitely would be nice because I was going to be digital all the way up until I started seeing some of the games at half price. So I'm not exclusively 100% digital anymore with Xbox One. But I love the convenience of digital, but to some degree, my wallet does override that. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, oh yeah,
the convenience of not having to search for a disc, because I take horrible um, care of my discs. I just leave them all over. I don't put them in the cases. So that was one of the big selling points of going all digital for me. But you just can't argue with the price. You just can't.
Mhm.
And to save $30, I will absolutely get the disc. I will deal with the disc. So
Huh.
so that's it. All right.
All right.
Bron, you want to take the next one?
What?
You want to take it?
Sure.
Who changed my Braun?
What?
You altered the poll.
No.
Somebody did. How did that
Wasn't
happen?
me. Why don't you look into it, Bron? Read the next one. We
Rob.
got to keep going. I didn't touch it.
I
I don't even know what you're
accepted.
talking about.
I accepted one and said anyone but Obama.
That's that I don't that was not there.
Oh, okay. I did
I-
not change that. I'm not even an admin of the group.
That is interesting.
Okay.
Obviously it was Rob, then I just deleted
No,
it.
it wasn't me.
Start over.
I see a smirk on his face.
No, I'm not even on it.
Don't know how that got there because that I wasn't even. I went there and I was like, what the heck is that?
Then it'd have to be Kyle. because
Somebody
Kyle,
added an option. I must have. I had it checked. Okay, so let me try this again. Anyways,
I'll
Look
read.
at
I'll
all
read
the
why you do that.
accusations flying.
yeah,
Okay.
it's Rob. I'm gonna remove his admin rights.
Nice.
So Jeff here is Jeff in our group with us? Is he on screen right now? I don't. What's anybody want to pronounce Jeff's last name?
Just Jeff. Don't read last names.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to butcher it.
Jeff.
Yep. So I'm getting regardless. But it does always worry me when the review embargo is released
Oh,
day. Oh,
Oh.
okay.
it wasn't. Okay, sorry, it wasn't Rob.
That's
It-
right. It wasn't.
I see what happened when I type the word anyone. That comes up anyone but Obama. It comes up as a group, so it must have selected it.
Nice.
Here I'm
Oh.
yelling at Rob. What are you doing?
I have been.
I thought it was
trying-
kind of fun. I thought it was a funny joke.
It's kind of true.
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
so let me
Now
try-
the poll is up. I apologize.
Let me try to read this again. I'm getting regardless, but it does always worry me when the review embargo is released release day. I've always used the old thinking of you got something really good, you want people screaming about it from the rooftops as soon as possible. So I imagine this is probably talking about a game. I don't have any context around this Facebook thing.
Oh,
Maybe you should
oh,
maybe read the next one. Read the next one.
it's the two to go together. He's talking
Okay.
about wants us to discuss what we thought, like a review embargo. So Watch Dogs, as big as this game is, there's no reviews yet. This game drops on Tuesday, but there's no, hey, this is a 9.5 or it's a 10. No one's allowed to do a review on it until like Tuesday, right? So it'll drop like Monday evening or Tuesday morning before the reviews can
Hmm.
go out. So he's one, there's they put that embargo on. It makes sense for a bad game because they don't want everybody to know ahead of time it's a bad game. Because typically these games make their money in that first week or two. That's where they make all their money, and then they
Yeah.
have that tail which tapers off, and they don't.
Hmm.
The longer the tail means the more successful the game is. So reviews can help keep a longer tail of sales. So he was just, that's where this question is coming back to. Part of it, they go together.
Mm.
It was
Okay.
just a continuation. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as answering the first part that I read, though, it's true when they say, and even if you listen to the media, that if there's an embargo and there's nothing like no videos, no previews, no reviews, no mentioning, no talking, can't say anything about it, that's something that's worrisome. Even if they don't ship out sometimes they don't even send the copies for review until it releases. That's a really like telling at that point. Um, as far as people that don't do like an early review, because sometimes like big games will do that. Um, but like the embargo for this one, it's not worrisome because they've actually had videos. Like they've done previews, and I think GameStop and IGN and Giant Bomb might be some of the people. Like they just had all hour gameplays that you could watch them on YouTube and on their websites and stuff as they were playing, and you could watch them. You can go rewatch them if you want to, if you want to see what the game's like. With them doing that stuff there, I don't think they're too concerned about the game or their reviews. So, but typically you are correct. I mean, if you don't see anything for a game, that could be a little problematic. So,
but it is
but
interesting that something like Watch Dogs is that they have an embargo on it until right prior to release. That seems a little odd for something this big named. Usually they would have had it out already.
yeah, well, I'm trying to think of the last game where they actually allowed the people to put up their reviews like a day or two ahead. Because typically IGN is like IGN's like the one that they typically get a lot of them. But I've seen a lot of their reviews for super big games are all like midnight the day of release. So it's when you can refresh the site and actually get it. So I'll read them in the morning before I go to work. But okay. Oh yeah, Conan reviewed it. Did you guys watch that?
Yes.
I tweeted that out on our Twitter account. I was like, some funny humor, and that Conan thing was hilarious. Like when he was looking at that woman in the boat, and he accidentally pulls the trigger and shoots her, and starts freaking out. I was rolling. I was laughing so hard. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. So yeah, that was pretty funny.
All right.
All right.
And so I guess we're ready to move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. New releases,
Okay.
Rob?
This week's retail releases. There's really just one thing for both consoles. Both the Xbox One and 360, we have Watch Dogs. So I'm pretty sure that we don't need to announce this one because everybody knows about it. They've been hearing about it for weeks. And it'll be interesting to see what the feedback is on this game.
Should we be worried
Next
about
week's.
it since we haven't heard anything as far as review? I'm just kidding.
Nah. No.
Had to do that.
I don't think it well, at least I'll say this, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I think Ubisoft has a really good track record,
Yes.
with the exception of maybe Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Ooh.
I think they got a really good track record of putting out titles and being quality games. Even Future Soldier was still, it didn't live up, in my opinion, to the Ghost Recon franchise, but it was a good game, and it wasn't broke, so to speak. So I think that's the thing that kind of makes me want to get this, is because it is an Ubisoft title, and they make quality stuff. They really do. So.
Yep. Yeah, so that's it
And-
for the retail releases, and we also have the Wolf Among Us episode coming out on Wednesday as well.
Oh, that's right. And where might one be able to purchase a physical copy of said Watch Dogs?
I'm very, very glad you asked, Mark. Let me tell you, it is Amazon.com. And if you do, make sure to use our Amazon affiliate link. Go to thisxboxlife.com, click on the Amazon affiliate link. It'll take you to Amazon. Actually, it'll probably take you to the Xbox One page, but from there you can search for whatever your heart desires. You can get Xbox related items and anything else as well. Refrigerator filters, oil for your car, who knows?
Yep.
You can get it there.
Alright.
That's it.
I had one more thing before we take
One
off.
more
That's all
thing.
right. So last
my
week
line.
I gave out a pretty cool game to go check out. They got funded, which was pretty cool. That was called the Universum. But
Oh yeah.
Soul Assassin, long time member of the community, actually pointed me to another game called Planetary Annihilation.
Intergalactic.
So, but yeah. So yeah, it's called Planetary Annihilation. I guess it's like you can get some early release or something like that on Steam. I guess it's a PC game. But it's one of those things where I actually watched a full hour and a half video on it of these guys playing it. I think from Giant Bomb, and the game looks really, really cool. So for people out there looking to dive into some stuff, check that out.
So is having like a planet be like a globe that you're playing on, is that like the current trend with these games?
Yeah, that's the funny thing, is he actually kind of laughed when I mentioned the Universum to him. He's like, the world actually looks similar because you can actually
it
see
does.
the world as a ball. So he actually mentioned Star Citizen as well, but I know pretty much a lot of people already know about Star Citizen. So it got kickstarted. It's up to 44 million.
Wow.
Yeah. People are actually buying their ships now, and the game's not even released, and they're paying thousands of dollars for them. So,
Oh,
which
is-
is
is-
crazy.
Is that the one that's like Eve? It's like a
Hmm. Yep.
it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
44 million.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. Guys, are you two going to record next week? Robin's on.
That's a good question.
I will not be here. There will not be a video podcast next week, as I will not be here to do it. So, are you guys going to do an audio version for $2.95, or are you going to take the week off?
I can probably do the video version. I have OBS.
Okay.
I don't have XSplit anymore. I used to have an XSplit membership to about 2 weeks ago. So
Well, we'll have to get you all the account info to tap into our stream.
oh, that's right. Well, there might not be a video show tomorrow next week.
Yeah.
So.
So, all right. Well, we'll post it in the group.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
There most likely will not be a video podcast next week, but we will return with a video in 2 weeks, which will be right before E3, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
that
it
is
will
right.
be. So
It'll be the day before, right?
it'll be the day before. So we will be back on the day before E3 and probably give predictions and stuff, and it'll probably just be an all E3 show. And then can't wait till the next one. We might have to do a special. We might have to just wait till Monday night and record Monday night.
Yeah,
to do after the E3.
Why don't we do a normal pre-show? Make the pre-all E3, and then do another one afterwards the next day.
That'd be the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be
Yeah, I
cool
like
to do
that.
both. That way we do our predictions and see how close we are.
Okay. All right, well, we'll talk about it, but we probably won't be here next week. But we will be back in 2 weeks, people. So please continue to follow us and watch us, and we appreciate it. If you listen to us on iTunes, please rate us 5 stars or anywhere you get your podcast, audio or video. And that is it for me. I'm Mark, aka Wingman 709. I'm taking off.
I'm Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you all next week.
And I am Brun BJ Swick 33. Have a good one.